Alright, time for another one of these.
Yeah, another new episode of Give Me Chaos Theories. Maybe now you can stop pestering me about rescheduling episodes all the damn time.
Well, I have been trying to improve Forgotten Media with a proper list, so who knows. But enough about my pathetic life. Here's the thing. As you probably know, there's going to be a new Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out in 2019. Maybe, I don't know, knowing how Sega's starting to develop a habit of delaying projects, I wouldn't be surprised if this film got delayed again, this time for a 2022 release. It's funny how, even to this day, we still haven't gotten any official posters or even a teaser trailer for the film. Just a logo and a few tidbits about it. Well, okay, scratch that. We did get a teaser poster for the movie.
Bloody hell! Has Sonic been hitting the gym? He looks like an athlete with a giant Sonic mask.
Right, more on that later. But right now, we're going to be discussing about some of the info that we know about this film, and then just talk about our brief thoughts about it, as well as coming up with some of our own ideas if we had the chance to make a Sonic movie. So, here we go. A Sonic movie will be a live-action / CGI buddy cop film.
When I heard that it'll involve Sonic teaming up with a cop, I had the weird notion that it might be like the Bonkers cartoon, which involves a no-nonsense cop being partners with a wacky cartoon character. And I'm worried that, like movies with the titular characters in our world, the focus will be more on the humans than the Sonic characters. Sonic X! It was one of my gripes with the first Hellboy movie, as it's from the perspective of this agent guy we don't give a crap about befriending Hellboy, and a town coming together to protect Sonic from the government. Wasn't that kind of done in the first Thor movie involving a small town and a secret government agency?
Ah yes, the film being a buddy cop film, and a CGI and live-action film, because apparently it's Hollywood law that 90% of animated franchises are forced to be partnered up with live-action people. Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about it first time I heard it. Already grown tired of those type of films, because most of the time it just spells disaster.
We'll know he'll be a delinquent, but will he act like Bart Simpson or his Fleetway Sonic counterpart? I just hope he won't be as annoying as that CGI Woody Woodpecker. And like Sonic 06, he'll look out of place in a live-action environment.
As for the look of the film, all we have is generic cop in generic town called Green Hill, because of course they gotta shoehorn in that nostalgia. And for a while, we've kind of theorized on what Sonic might look like in this movie, so now we have an official look, kind of, at this new design. And, I don't know, I really don't have much to say. Even this basic silhouette of the character is just not enough for me to comment on. All I can really think of is just making a cheap joke and saying, well, looks like Cable Mystic's version of Sonic is gonna be an official thing, woohoo! But yeah, that's about it for me on this design. Give me a proper trailer for the movie and then I'll have something to say.
I don't exactly hate this poster, as his design's a bit early to judge and isn't fully revealed, but it makes me more curious as to how that fits in a live-action world.
Sega has nothing to do with the Sonic movie, but Takashi Iizuka is supervising it. Yeah, Takashi Iizuka. Out of all the people at Sega that could have helped, or at least given some kind of feedback for this film, they chose this guy, who contradicts his own statements on a daily basis. Well, let me tell you how I feel about this, because I feel like Takashi Iizuka is nothing more than an annoying little fuck. With a frying pan handle!
Alright, calm down, mate. At least it ain't Ken Penders.
And this is why I called it quits on the Sonic games after Forces. Funny how, considering the fact that Sega is a lot more involved with working on the IDW Sonic comics, and yet they can't be bothered to have the final say on anything for the Sonic movie, so they had to pick out this random guy out of the bunch to do it. I'm sure that's already backfiring on them, seeing as how employees and former employees of Sega have been reacting pretty negatively towards the teaser poster. I can already imagine Aaron Weber's the only positive guy out of the bunch saying, oh, what are you guys talking about? It's still Sonic the Hedgehog. It's still Mean the Meanster. You haters are just being silly. Yeah. But I guess that's something I'll have to put up with. Takashi Iizuka is the only guy from Sega helping out on this film. So expect to see a lot of Wisps and Classic Sonic get shoehorned into the movie. Jim Carrey as Robotnik and Ben Schwartz as Sonic.
Jim Carrey as Robotnik could work, as he's a comedic and flexible actor. He's almost like a living cartoon character, and he could pull off Eggman's buffoonish personality. However, one concern I have is that he's been off the silver screen for a long time, and I don't know if he can still act like the Jim Carrey from our childhoods. But if he's still got it, that's great. I was kinda hoping for Alfred Molina or Ben Kingsley myself, or French actor Gerard Depardieu, as he's got the face and nose for it. And I hope he doesn't look like '06 Eggman with those udders. And James Marston? We don't know who he'll play as. Snively, perhaps?
Well, there won't be a Snively, but I've heard that there will be some sort of a henchman working for Robotnik. But yeah, seeing Jim Carrey on the big screen again will be interesting, especially considering the fact that in recent years he's been doing a lot more painting than acting, even if most of his work revolves around politics and stuff. I know we're not going to be talking about any of his political views and whatnot, because that's not what the show is about. This is Give Me Chaos Theories, not Fox News. But still, it does leave you wondering if old Carrey still has it in him. I could see him pulling off a Robotnik similar to the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog version. I haven't really seen him in any serious roles, and I don't really see him being like Sad AM or Fleetway Robotnik. But hey, if it's just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, then at least that'll make the Jim Carrey fans happy. And then there's Ben Schwartz as Sonic, and, well, the only thing I know about him is that he's the voice of Dewey in the DuckTales reboot, and yeah, I could see that voice working for Sonic. Now people will stop complaining about how Sonic sounds like an old man and listen to this new voice. And then everyone will hate that new voice, because that's the Sonic fanbase for you. Yeah. Next thing you know, they'll bring in that guy who voiced Hunter in Spyro Reignited Trilogy to replace Roger Craig Smith. And of course, there's a few other actors and actresses that have been revealed, like James Marsden and Tika Sumpters, and I haven't seen any of their work, so I can't say. And that concludes our very brief thoughts on what we know so far about the movie. I think it's safe to say that we're setting the bar pretty low for this movie.
And will this movie be good? Well, it's hard to say. Video game movie adaptations are hardly good, although I do have a bit of a guilty pleasure for the Warcraft movie, and they keep making those Pokemon animated movies as they're so successful. How many are there now? 15? 25? We'll just have to see how the movie develops. I suppose kids might like it, though.
And even though the whole world has already talked about this film to death and how it'll be a flop and it'll ruin the franchise, blah 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 blah, I'm just sitting back with my popcorn and just saying, well, it could have been worse. We could have had Sonic Armageddon instead.
Whoa! This is way past cool!
What the hell did I just watch?
That, my friend, was a failed movie pitch made by the egotistical man himself, Ken Penders. I mean, you take one look at that title and you just want to laugh. And if this was going to be some kind of trilogy, then I can already imagine the other two films being called World War Sonic and Sonic Judgment Day. Or most likely Sonic The Force Awakens and Sonic Trek, knowing how much of a sci-fi nerd Penders is. I mean, sure, this is a pretty old video, but come on, I've seen college projects more professional looking than this garbage. Yeesh. Couldn't bother to find some guy to do a good Sonic voice, so we had to get one of his kids to do the character. Oi! That's pretty cheap. But at least that's something we can all agree on. Just be thankful that this particular Sonic film never happened. Now, before we end this, here's a few random ideas we had about if we decided to make a Sonic film. Luke?
I suppose how I would have done a Sonic movie, it would be like a simple movie of nature versus industry, like Fern Gully, The Elm-Chanted Forest, or James Cameron's Avatar. Hell, that movie had a fight scene involving a blue creature fighting a guy in a robotic machine. Or like something out of Crash Bandicoot, where Sonic was one of Eggman's experiments, and have to protect the forest or island from his robots. And it would be computer animated. And they could throw in a token human character who could be Eggman's nephew or niece, who is against his or her uncle's cruel experiments. Sonic and Eggman's origin story could have been similar to that comic that came with copies of Sonic 1 for the Genesis/Mega Drive.
As for me, well, I've mostly stressed this before in previous videos and how I would prefer the tone of Sonic. A decent balance of wacky fun and serious moments. And seeing as how I'm more of a Sonic comic guy, then there would definitely be a lot more action and adventure for my idea of a Sonic film. And it would be either all CGI or all traditional animation. No live action. One more thing I'd like to add to this is that for the longest time I've had the bar low for this film and all that jazz, But after watching Roger and Alex's thoughts about it, I'm starting to have a more different approach to the film. Aside from the, well, at least it's not Pontiac and Graff attitude, I at least know what to expect from this film. Unlike Sonic Boom, where it's falsely advertising itself to be action and adventure when it clearly wasn't, hence why I'm very bitter towards that now dead franchise. I do know what this film will be and how it's gonna be bad. I mean, it's a movie based off of a video game. Those films always suck, and they're never good. Never have, never will. I practically feel sorry for anyone who had high hopes for this Sonic movie. So when this film comes out and becomes a failure or becomes a surprise okay, I at least know what to expect from this project, and it'll practically feel like a breath of fresh air from how dull and lifeless the games have become with their nostalgia pandering and their 3D Sonic lies. It's gonna be different, and I'm gonna enjoy it, even if it's bad, or heck, maybe it'll be the it's bad that it's good kind of way. So I say just bring it on. Yeah, bring me some variety. And that's all I can think of to talk about for this episode. So tune in next time where we get to talk about things or something when I have time and motivation to continue this series. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to do a follow-up to this, no review thing or anything. Maybe I'll do a casual review for this, but no Give Me Chaos Theories continuation on this. Yeah, best I can think of is maybe just make a cheap guest appearance on Sonic Dissected when they talk about the film. Or better yet, maybe he can round up all of his guest stars and do this one big movie palooza thingy. Well, that's pretty ambitious, and most likely will not happen. Well, a guy can dream, so yeah, that's about it. That's all I gotta say. Bye.